Bonjour, bonjour. Nous reprenons la suite des vidéos et nous parlons maintenant de mon livre Future Africa Sub-Saharan Takeoff in Light of Practice in Chinese Economic Development, a Divine Mission. As you see, the Lord is always there shining on me. It is my dissertation for a doctorate degree. Now, section 112, page 7 of my book. As I said, next I will set out the likely development goals and objectives as they relate to each other particular issue. Here, I will unavoidably deal with judgments and priorities. For example, if greater equality is an overall objective of government policy, factors such as the distribution of income, the spread of educational opportunities, and the roles of labor-intensive rural development projects become significant. If, however, the objective is maximum growth of GNP, irrespective of its distribution, these factors may be less important. The issue will be that any attempt to deal with real-world development problems must be based on explicit economic and social value promises about what is desirable and what the priorities are among different desirable goals. In fact, the very selection of specific problems to be discussed and analyzed in chapter 2 and 4, for example, poverty, inequality, unemployment, population growth, the environment, education, rural development, trade, debt, aid, technology, globalization, and source and north-south new relation. Section 113, policy alternative and consequences. Furthermore, the final step in Africa and third or forward problem-solving procedure is to set forth alternative economic policy approaches and their possible consequences for the problem orientation under review. Policy options expounded will intend primarily to stimulate a further research and development. Then I will formulate my own conclusions of agreement or disagreement with those actually applied in classic and modern policy. I believe that the policy options available to governments depend on the economic aspects of the overall problem. Each policy alternative will be evaluated in light of development priorities. As a result, the possibility of trade-offs between goals always considered. For example, in the case of Sub-Saharan Africa, the goal of a rapid takeoff and rapid GNP growth may or may not be compatible with the elimination of unemployment or eradication of rural poverty. Similarly, the encouragement of private foreign investment may not be compatible with the desire to be more self-reliant. In any case, when such a conflict of goals become apparent, choices have to be made on the basis of priorities and the socio-economic consequences of giving up or curtailing one objective in favor of another. It is at this final stage of evaluating the indirect ways in which a policy designed to eliminate one problem may exacerbate other problems that wisdom of the broad-gauged new development economist can become most important and even useful. Following the 5-step problem-solving procedure not only will provide a more comprehensive understanding of critical sub-Saharan Africa development issues, along with all other poor countries classified as third, fourth, or LDC, but more important, will also give a better approach and reach independent judgments about other contemporary or future development problems, such as the gains and the pains of globalization. The gains and the pains of globalization. In the long run, the possible costs of trying to analyze all problems within a somewhat rigid 5-state framework rather than following a less rightly organized dissertation will be greatly outweighed by the benefits. Now, let's go to section 1, 2. Step by step, learning by doing. I decided to join the project of enhancing China and Africa ties by participating in the first Cameroon government delegation attending the meeting for economic and commercial promotion and cooperation for development held in Beijing for 3 weeks in September-October 1989. From then, I maintained my contacts with China in that topic on causeways. I joined the project in 1994 by an official invitation to the Shenzhen Fair and also worked there from 1995 to 2000. In 1996, I attended the International Conference in Chengdu And from Beijing to Qingdao in 1998, I founded the established, I followed the establishment of the special zone of Wangdao. During my studies and research, I attended several exhibitions and forums from Shanghai, Shenzhen, Kunming, Henan, and other economic development areas. I witnessed a great school of China's process of development and successful international enhancement in trade and international relationship with the world. It is the result of these last 5 seasons and the early works that lies as the empirical foundation for this thesis. To pay my tuition, I was teaching around several colleges and universities, Qingdao, Renmin, Yunnan. Remembering the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Ministerial Conference, Beijing 2000, on October 11, 2000, the first of its kind in the history of the Sino-African relationship, in a golden October autumn, it reveals a predilection echo connected to the dissertation today, standing as a fulfillment of the invitation for an enhanced China with the Brotherhood links Africa that brought the author to China under an official Cameroonian government delegation for the prospect of economic and commercial mission between China and Cameroon, for instance. The official delegation listed Ndomo Melingi Therese among the members attending this first meeting at Beijing Airport in autumn 1989 too. Here begins the author's marathon back and forth between China and Cameroon. Before settled permanently in China, she completed a great survey of 5 years around the Western world and African continent. Being a well-known business lady in Cameroon under the group of Cameroonian businesswomen, Ndomo Melingi decided to continue this mission without any financial help, following the step-by-step Great School of China's economic reform and development. In 1990s, she attended at Rouen an international forum on the conservation of tropical products, where Cameroon was listed as banana producer. At that special event, an unusual delegate approached her and invited her to have a cup of coffee. By drinking this coffee, he informed her that on her forehead front it is written Hero, and that she has a sacred mission as duty to search for a mysterious country in which our people will overcome their chaotic shame. Before that, Ndomo Melingi Therese Aisha had a spiritual dream that an unseen voice called her under a holy light for Sorry. I repeat, before that, Ndomo Melingi Therese Aisha had a spiritual dream that an unseen voice called her under a holy light in that night of August 10th, 1985, in Douala, Cameroon, her hometown, for a sacred mission as duty for the rebuild of the worldwide family cell in mess. Since this first enlightenment, she has been under an unseen shadow guiding her research works. And the recognition of this unique and special process brings to light all the revelations she has been receiving as instructions to run her sacred mission. Most of those who got acquaintance with Ndomo Melingi have heard about her unique kind of contemporary spiritual task. According to the revelations received, she was informed to search for a mysterious country, to witness a tremendous change boosting to a great boom, with which, and following its example, African people will overcome their chaotic shame. This message is known since then, even home and abroad. Since 1995, I repeatedly claimed that a new world economic order will be born. I really hope to see that. I really hope to see that last step of this hardship task ending. Thus, it become a real great academic marathon without competitors. 1985, 2009, to the unique, heroic discovery of the mysterious country, unknown kingdom of kingdoms that I had to find and witness a tremendous economic boom, being China as revealed. This came to be realized during the Big Dragon reform and economic boom since year 1994 to 2000, the big event of China's economic boom. And as predicted, the first meeting of Africa-China was held in Beijing in October 2000, when I was on the Mount Tai Shan in Shandong province, visiting also the Institute of Confucius, a great philosopher and teacher of the Chinese old Shang dynasty, within which lies the author root, according to her discoveries. An exchange in academic interaction to be initiated, I advised during a night of lecture to the students and their teachers. Today, in Cameroon, schools are open to learn Chinese accordingly, and I hope that our university will follow the path in the area of economic development and international trade, interdisciplinary cooperation. Here is the introduction. But what was the methodology? In this dissertation, my methodology is developed in three aspects: theoretical, practical, and policy orientation for the future African takeoff in light of practice in Chinese economic reform and step-by-step development. A sacred mission, dreams come true, and previous predilections fulfilled. The author decided to join the project of enhancing China and Africa ties by participating in the first government delegation attending meeting for economic and commercial promotion and cooperation for development held in Beijing for 3 weeks in September, October 1989. From then, I maintained my contacts with China in that topic on Causeway. I joined the project in 1994 by an official invitation to Shenzhen Fair and also worked there from 1995 to 2000. It is the result from these last 5 seasons and the early works that lies as the empirical foundation of this thesis. The author, after passing the entrance examination in 2002, followed 3 years PhD program at the School of Economics in the field works research on the world economics, focus on international economic relations. Firstly, she was enrolled in Renmin University in March 2001 as General Advanced Research Student, Senior Scholar. The criteria for her admission was according to the track record of professional success with increasing responsibility of managerial and professional experience, high potential for advancement academic capability, and potential to contribute to the level of mastering economics development theories. In order to put more realism in the field work research economically, firstly, the author has to fulfill a 23 years combined theoretical and practical R&D, research and development, step-by-step process with a consulting company established in China from 1995 to 2000, promoting exchange between China and other third and fourth worlds, business and trade, especially with African continent. Economically, the results show why less developed countries have difficulties to achieve a sustainable development growth. To date, all the models proposed seem wrong. The ultimate idea of my dissertation will be to promote a systematically new thinking about sub-Saharan Africa economic problems and issues and formulate suggestions and conclusions on the basic relevant analytic principles and reliable statistical information. Because the problem of third world and fourth world development are in many cases unique in the modern world, especially sub-Saharan African regions, and not often easily understood through the use of traditional economic theories. Economists and policy makers may often need unconventional approaches to what may appear to be conventional economic problems. Traditional economic principles can play a useful role in enabling us to improve our understanding of development problems, but they should not blind us to the realities of local conditions in undeveloped countries. Now, section 122, motivation, purpose and goals of this framework. The aim of this two-hand framework will be to analyze what globalization have brought to underdeveloped countries, mostly concerned by sub-Saharan Africa region, backwardness. In order to answer in the left hand of the essay state in terms of collection of evidences and dates what have changed in third and fourth world countries. Then, this framework will look at the complex environment of a developing country in order to pull out with the right hand what elements could enable them to evolve positively. Here, China, one of the third world nations, will probably become the example of takeoff applied to shape their destiny. In addition, we will take the example of transformation of natural resources, cobalt and cotton. In computer and textile industries, in order to highlight the difficulties connected with a developing country. Here, publications by UN, United Nations, surveys and studies 2003 to 2005 will be the best resources to use for complete detailed analysis and proposals. The growth of production was accompanied by a rapid development of trade and tremendous increase in wealth. In the 8th century BC, China was still technologically behind West Asia, but by the end of the period, it had largely caught up and already was the most populous land on the world. You see EBIT page 34, note 3. And fieldworks and research in some areas of China, such as Yunnan and Henan and Shandong, Chengdu provinces, with a crossroad and river of Mekong borders, with its 6 countries sharing the same river transportation and trade exchanges, brought the author face to her roots, hidden in China. At the Mount Tai, after a one-night visiting the relics of the great Confucius, who whose primitive name seems to be along the line of the slaves from Africa, presented the great custom and cultural similarities with his philosophy as in the old days of Africa sub-Sahara. Exchange with the students and their teachers of his brand new institute that day and night, and their teachers was unforgotten time for me. Then we go through schedule. With her experience in the area of economics and international business and her study of transit specific on Africa, the author completed 10 years' previous research works, which show her ability to mastering the field without any difficulty better than a graduate student without professional experience and research achievement she accomplished it. After one term, 6 months, she was graduated and presented as candidate for the entrance examination for this 3 years PhD program that she successfully passed with authorization to study and write in English language, although she speaks Chinese and can communicate fluently with the Chinese people. Her framework has a great impact in the development of the world economic system toward the globalization and the new economic order demanded by the third world in the World Trade Organization. And the courses applied to this program are as follow: economic reform and development in China, economics model, contemporary development and management based on international economic relations, economic development theories and policies, international economics. In the 3 years, according to the study schedule and requirement, the student read a lot of professional books and academic journals to burden the knowledge structure and to know the academic trends. According to the supervisor's arrangement, the student participate in related research project in order to increase the ability in research and development studies. Also, during this period, to publish several professional articles on the academic journal up to the standard of PhD. The thesis topic consolidates the ad hoc problems of contemporary world economics and international theories, such as methodology of analysis. The key point in the research is combined with the practice of China's open to the outside policy and all analysis, a highly intellectual with certain levels of academic point of view and suggestions. Purpose: searching for a best model of economic development reform applied to the African countries and third world economic and social development toward the globalization for a new real world economic order, a demand for freedom and sovereignty, lack of theories and strategies for sustainable bargain in the World Trade Organization. perspectives. With her comparative study of social, economic, and traditional culture between China's minorities groups and Cameroonian minorities ethnic groups, Ndomo Melingi Therese Aisha has carried out and garnered the discoveries of the brotherhood link between Chinese people and African people. This revealing the origin of the Chinese people from the Nile Valley with a sub-Saharan language of the Tibenanga, Bantu people, Bantu primitive language, written system in pictographic characters and spoken in China and Cameroon. This is a very important cultural heritage discovery to be used for communication and cultural exchange. Programs in the process of new strategies for cooperation within the third world in the new theories. In the new strategies for cooperation within the third worldwide in the next theory proposed in this new framework, a win-win game economic theory to apply for a successful bargain for a new economic order. This been called Pangma or Pangma. This model stands a kind of barter model of old world system. Let's stop here and we take next. I am Dr. Ndomo Melingi Therese Aisha.